Welcome everyone, I'm Michelle Schumann. I'm the Artistic Director of the Austin Chamber Music Center, and I'm here right now with Charlie. She is part one of CHARGAUX. Charlie and Margot will be joining us in a second. I'm so happy because we're going to be having this fantastic group with us at the festival on July. I should have put this in my head before I talked to you. July, you're that first weekend.
9.
July 9, thank you. And, you know, I mean, for me, I'm always fascinated. We have 9 concerts during our festival, and there's a really great range of traditional music and some cutting-edge music. And I'm always really fascinated by groups that use traditional instruments like violin and do something completely new and interesting with it and explore the boundaries of that. Can you tell me a little bit about the music that you play and that you compose and what your style is and how you came about that?
Oh man, that's a very loaded question. I'm excited to answer. So, hey Margot.
Oh, hey Margot.
So we are currently doing an interview, and we have some Facebook questions, and we have all this cool stuff. So, do you mind repeating the question?
Sure. I just want to know how your band got started and what your music is like, what your audiences are like, and what you enjoy doing in your musical career.
Man.
Okay, I'll start with how we got together, and then we'll talk about our just very diverse audience that we have, that we've always talked about. We met back in 2010. I had just graduated from BC, and I was on my lunch break just kind of relaxing, and I walked over and I saw her playing on the corner, playing violin, and I just stopped her and said, hey, you sound amazing. Can we just play together sometime? And keep in mind, I have on my business attire. And she just kind of like, okay, cool, like you played maybe. So the next day we get together and we play on the same corner where we met. And from the moment we took out our instruments, people were just enthralled with what we were doing. There's
like
instant energy.
our cameras, just like, who are you guys? Like they assumed that we were already a unit, and I guess we were, we just didn't know it. So we decided that very moment, let's do this. And what was funny is, to answer the next part of the question, we had never played before. We just decided to meet up on that spot. So she starts playing some of her romantic repertoire, and I'm playing some of my Baroque repertoire, and we're completely clashing for the first maybe 10 minutes until we found a groove in between that was probably supported by our passion for hip-hop, our passion for soul, funk, oldies, classics, blues, country, especially bluegrass. And because of these other elements we'd already been exposed to, we kind of used our romantic and Baroque experiences to influence that sound, but not necessarily stay stuck in that sound. So our musical audience, or our audiences, are pretty much everybody. Because what we ended up doing was we got to know each other and become friends that year in Boston. And then we moved to New York after the lease was over. We just went to the subway and practiced in the subway every day while at the same time earning our living down there. Because we knew we needed to figure out our brand, and we knew we had something extremely special that we couldn't work a job and figure music out at the same time. So we risked it all in the subway, and that ended up conditioning us and also exposing us to many different people, from infant-sized, I'm being held by my mom, to, you know, really old people, mentally ill people, homeless people, decorated officials, like even police officers would come down and be like, I love your music, so I'm not even going to stop you. I'm supposed to kick you out of the subway. You know, decorated officials, CEO people, like fashion people. We got so many opportunities from being exposed to all these people that we were able to perform for each of these demographics outside of the subway. So we went to nursing homes, we went to schools, underfunded, underprivileged schools, we went to colleges, we went to, I'm leaving so many things out, ballet, we worked with ballet troupes, we played in fashion shows, but not abstracted as just accessories. Like we were actually the theme of the show. You know, so it was really...
That's really cool, because it sounds like your rehearsals were in your performances, and your performances were rehearsals, and that's really neat, because that's like that. that's basically the first question that we have from our Facebook friend, because Julia Matula writes, what's the difference in how you experience music you play during rehearsals versus live performance? And it's funny because we've had these same questions for all of our artists, and everyone has answered it in this, not similar ways, but everyone has a very, very keen separation between rehearsing and performing, but it seems like you're a little bit more melded. So can you talk about that and the difference?
It's definitely a symbiotic relationship. So we like to give ourselves the freedom to express something new in a performance. And when you kind of have like a rigid rehearsal and like, we're going to do this and this and this, then when you're in the performance, it doesn't feel as fresh, doesn't feel as
authentic,
excited and authentic to that actual moment. So of course we're not just getting on stage and just making up anything. Right. We do have some structure. We do say, okay, you're going to play this at this point, or this is how we're going to come out of this improvisation with this cue. But having that space in the actual performance is what makes it fun for us. And I think that was really great that you picked up on that, playing in the subway when we were just talking about it, that is what has given us this, like, oh, we can just
show up anywhere, do anything.
We have the skill set and the tools to try something new and not be afraid that we're going to just bomb it, because we've done that so many times throughout all of these years.
And in some ways, like traditional concert musicians, they get so stuck into needing or desiring to be perfect before they ever put anything in front of people, and then that brings that sort of nervous energy of like, well, is it going to be as good as when I'm by myself? So I think actually all classical musicians could really benefit from just putting more music out there, even to kind of try things out and to experiment with audiences too. So it sounds like you guys do a lot of that.
Another large part of that is, well, to speak on the practice style, we like to just jam out at home, have fun, be silly, be sisters, just completely see how not seriously we can take it, but sound good at the same time. And then when we hit the stage, we're ready. But a large part of our musicianship is the acceptance that we were human, and we didn't follow a by the book way of anything. Our lives aren't even by the book. And actually all of the most prolific artists and scientists have led very interesting personal lives. And so what we do is we bring our personal emotions into that. There is no perfection. Nobody's life is perfect. And that shows. So if you crack a note while you're singing, if you don't hit the perfect intervals, it's still emotional if you are still playing with all the fervor and intent. So, Naja Salerno, who is your favorite, and Itzhak Perlman, who's my favorite, because he's so perfect technically, but he's still emotional. Yeah. And her, because she's so flawed, but her delivery is perfection times 10. You understand? So that we've said a mouthful.
Yeah. So the second question is really fun. It's from Karen Richmond, and she writes, it's pretty broad. She says, if you could play any piece for anyone, living or dead, real or mythical, who would you play for, and what would you play?
Wow. Real or mythical?
Nobody's given me a mythical person yet, so you might be on.
Okay. Which Greek god or goddess? I really got to think about that one for a second.
I'd put together a concert for some aliens.
Nice.
I really would. I'd be like, hey, intelligent life, have a seat. We're going to talk to you about frequency, but we're not going to talk. No, just kidding. But
no, I actually think that's really. I mean, there's no holds barred, right? I mean, that's actually an interesting idea. And like when they put out the capsule into space. To like get to different life. They put out, what was it? Was it the Brandenburg concertos or Beethoven Fifth or something? Like they put out concert music because that was obviously a really important thing of our culture. And what a way to, we find that we can't communicate if we don't know language. We can't necessarily communicate right away. But I mean, I've played with people who I don't speak the same language with, and when you play with them, you can understand.
That's language.
Yeah. So. I love that answer. That was good. No, what would you play? Would you play your original music? Would you play Bach? Would you anything.
Absolutely, because everybody else has had 50,000 recordings of all of hello. Oh, there are 50,000 recordings of every piece of classical music available, but there are no unique recordings that are mass produced from us, and so we would just play how we feel. We're Black women. We represent a whole nother group of people. We represent an educated class of society. We represent the artists. We represent just individuality, empowerment, and that is just as important in our culture to recognize and to see and to acknowledge and to, put somewhere for some space anthropologists to find.
I love it. That's awesome. So our next question is, what was the moment or piece of music that made you want to become a musician?
Oh my God.
Oh, she knows her exact.
Oh my God.
Exact one.
Okay.
I'll tell my moment because hers is a much more beautiful story and mine is
whatever.
When I was in second grade, we had band and orchestra in my school, and my teacher, Mr. Berry, he showed us how all the different instruments worked, and he showed us the wind instruments, and he was blowing through this horn, and he opened the spit valve, and spit just came out of it, and I was like, that is disgusting. The violin, and he just I was like, okay, I'm playing that one. I don't want to play the gross thing. I'm going to play the beautiful thing here. And so that immediately attracted me to string instruments, and I'm so glad that I did that because I feel like the diversity in string instruments is unmatched in terms of how you can put your own voice into it. And that's not to say anything about other ones, just for me personally. So for me, it was a simple second grade little kid decision of, I'm going to play that.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you're crying.
No, I'm sorry. I yawned. But at my public school, by the time you're in the fourth grade, you could choose between band, orchestra, or chorus. So the band teacher was boring me with the quarter, half note, quarter, half. Like I just needed much more stimulation at the time, and I'm only giving a real answer. My 10-year-old self, I was just like, "What? Everybody is doing the same exact thing. I don't want to do this." And then we go to the orchestra class, and the teacher is named Doug Stevens. He whips out his violin, and he becomes the violin. He's playing the Pink Panther. I had never seen it so soulfully done, and I was like, "That's me. I don't care. That's me." And then grabbed the violin. I just wanted to know how to put my soul into something. I didn't even care about the technical aspect of being a violinist. So that's what I saw, and that's what made me want to play that. And then obviously, it's a vocal instrument. So again, it's such a diverse. There's so many ways to play that thing. So.
Maybe you already have it, but if you don't, you need to create the most badass Pink Panther arrangement.
Right.
All right, the last question, and it's kind of loaded, is from Alan Ambar. He says, why does classical music still matter today? And what would you say to someone who thinks it's a classical concert would be boring?
You know what? This is and I've said this before, this is what I would say to someone who thinks a classical concert is boring. They're only thinking about, or they've only experienced one kind of classical music. Whenever I hear that, because I love the Romantic era, and I love Shostakovich, and I love Brahms, and all this really energetic, beautiful, very nuanced music, it's like, are you just thinking about just the Baroque era? Is that what you think at this point? Are you only thinking about Vivaldi, or anything about Mozart? There's so much more to it, and not to say that those aren't great pieces as well. But if you're trying to expose someone who's only thinking about it like, I studied the classical music, I feel like exposing them to some of those beautiful pieces makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And another way that I relate with people is I say, okay, what movie did you just see? What made you feel excited about these different scenes? You're hearing an orchestra. You're hearing the strings. You're hearing these trumpets. You're watching The Matrix and it's going, like all these cool things are happening. Those are classical musicians. So maybe you just have to think differently about the way you experience music, I think. And it's there. It's just it's more subliminal now. And if you can kind of bring people out of the movie theater and out of the study room and put them in a concert where they could see, like, there's energy behind this music. It's not dead. It's still alive. People are still playing it. People are still composing. And it's still very important.
That's great.
Yeah. It's acoustic literature. It's the same thing as asking why are classical books important still? Because they matter. They're still relevant. They still emote a lot of what was going on back then and what's going on now. And there are amazing, incredible, even scandalous stories behind a lot of the classical works we hear today. There are so many secret tales. People don't know that women weren't allowed to publish music, so some people's brothers did for them. It's very, it's very colorful.
Yeah.
And that's why classical music is important. And also they need to realize that today is modern, but 300 years from now, whatever we do is classical. So
yeah,
it's good.
I know there was new music at all times, and
Exactly.
and yeah, those are great answers. Thank you. Thank you. That's really cool. We are really looking forward to your show on July 9th. People are there's a little buzz, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for meeting with me right now. And we're going to put this out to our audience members so they can get to know you before you get here. And I know that you guys are heading out on tour here really soon, and so we look forward to you being in Austin.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, great. So we'll sign off now, and we might just chat here just for a second, but let's sign off for now, okay? So thank you, CHARGAUX, Charlie, and Margot. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.